What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at a newly released Mantis, now released from Hot Toys, and you can order this figure. I believe it's sold out at Big Bad Toy Store, but if you are subscribed to the channel and you turn that notification on, you know that I do. If I see something come back, from pre-orders or available now, I always put it there regardless if you need it or not. It might be helpful to you maybe someday. So, just putting it out there. But let's talk about this figure. So last night they announced that it's a newly refined head sculpt. And I was happy because every time that you hear that and then you look at the picture, I'm like, hey, any improvement is good, right? And then I saw the head sculpt. I was like, man, this looks amazing. This looks exactly like the actress. Short of having a rooted hair, I mean, there's really not much you could ask for. So today, as I was putting this together, I was like, all right, let me see what changed. And I was pulling up the pictures from the first promotional pictures to what they sent last night. Because I never had any problems with the initial, prototype. I guess the nose and lips have changed, but it's a little change, but it's an improvement. It's an improvement. If you weren't buying this before and you saw that announcement, I mean, it's a little change. So but I didn't pre-order this. I'm gonna say right now, this looks fantastic. This would, for any Guardians collectors out there. I don't know what's happening with Marvel. We'll see after Wolverine and Deadpool. But I've been longing for Marvel, man. I mean, I loved Marvel since Iron Man 1. And that's a long time. And it kind of faded away after Endgame. And when you see figures like this, it kind of brings you back. Kind of like, hey, man, I mean, I want to add her. Because I still have my Endgame collection. I still have Infinity War. But in this sense, you're kind of like, hey, you know what? Let me revisit this. She's a good addition. To some people, they might have moved on from Marvel already. And that is totally fine. That is understandable. But for me, or those who are still hanging on to their Marvel, fandom, even though Endgame feels like happened ages ago, she's one of those remaining figures that kind of like, hey, I'm almost done. Because yes, I know this is not from Endgame. You got that silly Christmas costume that she does have, but you can remove it. And as you can see here, when she's a part of our larger group, man, it looks fantastic. A missing piece, so to speak, to your Marvel collection. So I'm gonna get her. I didn't pre-order her initially, but I'm sure at some point, somehow, some way, she's gonna end up in the collection. Love my Guardians. I don't have Gamora. I never liked the hair. With Gamora. Guardians looks like it's going to continue. It's one of those franchises that is kind of like in between right now. I guess same with Thor. We technically had 2 movies. Guardians 2 was a great movie, by the way. I want to add her in that lineup. I really do. Like I said, I have a soft spot for anyone who showed up on Phase 1, 2, 3. It's one of those things where, when it was like 2022, you're like, all right, I'm gonna go to Star Wars now. But now you feel that longing now. At least I did, for Marvel, and it feels like a throwback now to collect Marvel. So I like this figure. Like I said, I didn't pre-order this. The hair looks good, even though it's sculpted. If it's rooted and become artisan, I don't know if there's a lot of people who would pick up a Mantis for like $500. I'm sure there are some. I'm sure she has fans that, would not mind, spending that much. But majority of the people, I think, want her to be a part of the Guardians lineup. Or, Avengers lineup, Endgame with that all women, at that scene. I'm sure that's one of the cases. Only downside is the outfit. Looks like it's pleather. There's really not much you could do about that. It is what it is. It might be rubberish, but it feels like it's going to peel. Those antennas that she does have on her head, from afar, it's okay. You can't see the seam. If you go up close, you can kind of see where they glued it. I mean, it is what it is. That's fine. It doesn't bother me as much. on pictures, if it's far like this, you don't see it anyway. If it's up close, you can easily do a Photoshop on it. So, not a big deal, not a deal breaker for me. I'm glad that you could remove all this Christmas garments. It's nice though. I would say they're funny to have. They're because whenever that time of the year comes in, any normal time, you can leave her like this. Beautiful. By the way, we need a new Drax. I don't know how much he would sell nowadays if Hot Toys released one, but that is a gaping hole in every collector's out there. Drax, because when that came out, it wasn't so hot because he doesn't look appealing, with all those joints, wrong body type, the traps. It feels like his body's too small. The facial expression he looks kind of bored. I hope they come up with a 2.0, use Hellboy's body for Drax, use that body to use. Again, Drax might be the next Cyborg if they ever release one. Remember Cyborg when everyone's asking for him and now he's 35% off? And that might be the same fate with Drax. But, for the sake of collectors, I would love to see him remade. But, man, I love this figure. Looks great. I mean, you don't really need a rolling eyeball system because her eyes are just dark. But it looks great. It looks great. It's a nice addition to it feels like she's a part of the Legacy Phase 1, 2, 3. Whether you can argue she plays a big part or a small part. I love buying Marvel figures. I don't know what to tell you. I'm really tempted with Shuri now. And I know, like the Mighty Thor. I'm longing for that. I don't know why. So, characters like this in a movie or holiday special, in a team like this, just have a soft spot for it. Just have a soft spot, But looks beautiful overall. Man, they need to release some of those Guardians 3 figures, by the way. That Star-Lord looks amazing. I don't know if it's the definitive Star-Lord because he doesn't have the helmet and whatnot, but I want to add that into my current lineup of Marvel figures. But let me know in the comments, how do you feel about this figure? Has Marvel just passed you by that you just don't care anymore? I would love to hear your thoughts, especially, somebody like Mantis, who, if this was announced maybe 5 years ago, maybe no one would buy her, but I don't know. Nowadays, it feels like she's a must-have. But thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.